And we're live. Welcome back to our November 14th, 2015 BothEndsOfTheCourt.com podcast. I'm Dude LeBron.
I'm Dude Kobe.
And we're here to talk about some basketball this week. And to start off, Uncle Drew is back.
Uncle Drew is back. Kyrie Irving's not quite.
Oh, I know. But, hey, that's why they had to play horse, which now we know that Kyrie can't even spell horse because he never makes it past H.
There you go.
That was amazing. But
I would like to see, though, Kyrie Irving and Ray Allen in a real shootout. Even Ray Allen at 41 or whatever he is, I still think would be a sweet shootout between those two.
So with the makeup or without the makeup?
Without.
Okay. Just pure shooting.
Yep.
Okay, I could see that. I probably have to give the edge to Kyrie, though, because he actually played this season.
Yeah, no, with the rest. I mean, I don't know what Ray Allen's doing. He's kind of legendary for his off-season workouts and stuff, but still, although Irving hasn't played in a while too.
That's true. But Ray Allen, he's a really good shooter.
Yeah.
I just don't know why he hasn't announced retirement or announced that he's going to the Cavs yet.
No, I keep hoping he'll come back. He's always been one of my favorite players, but we'll see.
If he does come back, where would he go?
He'd go to a contender. There's no reason not to.
Can you imagine if he went to either Golden State or the Cavs? Just add that extra shooter.
More unfair.
Oh my god!
And he's a great defender, even as old as he is. He's a spectacular defender. He's just good at everything.
He can probably still dunk.
Probably. I wouldn't be surprised.
Back in his younger days, man. Those highlights.
He was a savage, man.
So, talking about retirement, I have to mention your jersey. What is going on with that guy? Because he should have retired once he got that Achilles injury, just like all the other greats before him.
Yeah, well, it's rough being a Kobe Bryant fan, being a Lakers fan right now.
Right.
But, and I grasp on to the little rays of hope like Julius Randle. But as far as Kobe goes himself, I think it's stupid when people start talking about people's legacy before they're even retired. That doesn't exist.
Right.
But as far as his career right now goes, he's terrible. He said it himself. Like, I freaking suck. I'm the 200th worst player in the league. I'm like, yeah. and just for the sake of fandom, he's on my fantasy team.
Okay.
He's getting a regular number of rebounds, assists.
There you go.
He's doing regular stuff. His three-point shooting is bad. His field goal shooting in general is terrible. So he is playing terrible. I can't argue with you as much as I would love to. I can't just pull up old 5 years ago highlights of Kobe and be like, take that, because it doesn't do much for him right now. But retiring, I think he should retire at the end of the year.
At the end of the year. Okay, so like come January? Or
No.
Too soon?
No, let him finish his career, man.
Oh.
I know that he's not helping the team at this point, from a playing on the court standpoint at least. Taking minutes and shots away from the young guys that need development is never a good thing. But he has been playing so well for so long that let him finish. It's not gonna kill the team in the long run. It's just it might slow them down a tiny bit, but that's fine. They've got a bright future still. They've got great young players. And I shouldn't even say this as a fan, but I keep reading that management isn't firing Byron Scott for the sole purpose of trying to be terrible. Because if they don't keep within the top 3 spots for the draft, they lose their pick to Philly. And
they're hard to tank against.
It is hard to. They have perfected
it.
Despite Okafor playing spectacular ball in his rookie season, they're awful, absolutely awful. And then randomly they hung in there with Cleveland. I never understand that. Last year they did too, though.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, they just play their little hearts out against Cleveland every year.
It's like, hey, we're on national TV for once, maybe. But I don't know. I think Kobe should retire now that they're 1-8 instead of being 1-71.
You actually think he should retire right now?
Well, what else is he going to add? Like, is there another milestone he's going for?
It's not even
Because
necessarily about
I know he likes to break those
yeah,
records.
everybody likes to break the records. So I don't think
And I think he just beat another one, but like I think the next one is quite a bit farther than I think he'll make it this year, unless he takes 200% of the shots, shooting 10%.
I just unless he's injured, there's no reason to retire in the middle of a season. It's just that'd be ridiculous for one of the best players of all time to retire in the middle of the season just because he's shooting terribly. That's not a good enough reason.
Yeah, the only reason why I see him not retiring is because of how much money the Lakers are throwing at the guy.
No kidding.
What is he, the highest paid player in the league? And he's the 500th worst player in the league? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he's making a lot of money.
A ton of money. The whole time he's been injured. They paid him extra money to keep him injured.
Yep.
Right when they had...
Is he making more than Anthony Davis? I know Anthony Davis had this historically gigantic contract that he's just signed last year.
I'd have to look. I'll put it in our blog post.
Yeah. Anyway.
Sorry, Kobe.
It's depressing, but that's all right.
And still they're getting so many primetime games, and I'm like, I can't watch this. I'm going to bed.
Yeah, well.
But let's switch from the worst teams in the league on each conference to the best teams in the league on each conference.
Which so far is Warriors and Cavs playing the best.
I mean, I wouldn't be mad if there was a rematch at the end of the year.
It would be an awesome rematch. And you know, I can't, even though the Warriors have been playing as the best team in the league, Stephen Curry is playing as the best player in the league. Both of those things, I don't think there's much argument for right now as the season's gone so far. But the West is so good that you can't just be like, oh, Golden State's a shoo-in. There's no way. Right. You know, they are spectacular and they're the favorites. In my opinion, I don't care what the GMs say and I don't care what Las Vegas says. They're the favorites for the title because they're the best. And falling back on, but LeBron's so good, he must be the favorite, right? No, he must not be. Just there's lots of good players. That bothers me. That seems disrespectful to Golden State that even the GMs who are supposed to know what they're talking about, they don't even think. They're just like, well, what team's LeBron on? That must be the team that's the favorite for the title. To me, that's ridiculous.
Well, the GMs all want him because that is like job security.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, yay, we have LeBron, so we're going to keep our job.
What confused me was that they were like, well, the team that... And I'm assuming that their logic was just the team that LeBron is on is the favorite for the title. But then they said the team they'd rather build their franchise around is Anthony... Or the guy they'd rather build their franchise around is Anthony Davis. I'm like, if you think LeBron... Which is one of the
worst teams in the league right now.
They're terrible. And Davis has been great, but he hasn't been...
What he was last year.
Yeah, he was supposed to take this massive step forward and become one of the best players in the league and ever... But he's taken a small step back.
He's getting them checks.
Well, I hope that's not what the problem is, but...
That happens to a lot of people, though.
It does.
I mean, they play so hard their rookie season and their next year just to get that next contract. Because it's like, oh, now, okay, I got 5 years max deal, $30 million a year.
But...
I'm set.
And you know, that's the argument that people have to say that college ball is better than the pros. That's what they say. You know, they're in college, they're not getting paid, so they're just in it because they love it and they're trying so hard and blah. And I'm like, yeah, but they all suck compared to the NBA.
They're trying so hard because they want to go make that money.
That's true. It's all about money, I guess. But I do like, you know, people complain about Russell Westbrook. He does not care if his team is down by 40 points, which right now they're never going to be down by 40 points. But he doesn't care. He doesn't care if it's the middle of January, he's freezing cold in some city in wherever.
Some players just got that instinct.
He just goes at it, man. That guy, he doesn't stop. And there are players like that, and I like that about some players. And even though sometimes it makes them take reckless decisions, overall, you'll accept a few reckless choices for a guy to be throwing himself on the court at all times with maximum effort. You'll accept a few mistakes for that.
Yeah, and you can tell that about some players in the league. They're like, I'm here to play basketball. Like LeBron's one of those, Curry's one of those, Westbrook, Durant. They don't care so much about the money. They want to go play basketball. And hopefully Anthony Davis kind of gets out of this money slump.
If that's what it is.
What it is.
No, definitely.
And wants to go play some basketball instead of wanting to just go get money. Because he's got the money now.
And you wonder, he is 21.
Oh my God.
Like, to be making, I don't know what his contract is. It's $148 million contract or something crazy.
It blows my mind.
And people are just piling on the accolades, saying, "Oh, he's the best. He's the best." All the GMs are picking him. You gotta wonder, if I was 21, I'm not that old, but I'm older than 21.
Yeah.
If I were 21 and I was getting that kind of praise and that kind of money just thrown at me, would I kill myself off on the court every night? I hope so, but I don't know if I would.
Yeah, I mean, you might spend a little bit more time at night doing some things that you weren't doing before you had money.
The party scene. He's in a really cool historic city.
He's in a party town.
Yeah, and I've never been a partier, but I've also never made millions of dollars a year. So
we should switch that around. Give us the millions, and we'll do the test. Do we party or do we not?
There you go.
Straw poll. If you gave us millions, would we party?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't even know how to party, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Don't give us the millions.
Anyway, so but getting back to Golden State and the Cavs, that would be a sweet rematch. First of all, hopefully the Cavs would get there healthy, and the Warriors, but just from last year, hopefully the Cavs would be healthy to be a little more competitive. Not that it wasn't, but just to
have Love and Irving back would have helped.
Yes, it would have. And I know we've talked about this before, but watch for Cleveland's defense to see what they're going to do there, because right now LeBron is not being asked to give 100% on defense. You could say that for every single superstar. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
That's not a knock on his character at all. But he is not being asked to play 100% on defense.
Well, right now they've had like the best defensive team I've ever seen
They are
a LeBron team have.
They are animals on defense, but how much of that can sustain with a whole ton of Irving and even LeBron at this point, the way he's playing? Anderson Varejao looks kind of washed up. Kevin Love's never been a spectacular defender. How much of that finals level from last year defense, which was the only thing that kept them in it, can sustain when they're playing so many heavy minutes on offensive-minded guys?
I think what really helped was the experience for the coach. Is he was able to be like, okay, this works, this doesn't work. And I bet he will, like, this is why they pay him money. He will find a way to meld those guys together.
Okay, no, that's a great point.
Like, I know that you don't think of Love, Irving, and LeBron as the defensive first team.
Right.
Because you think of them as more of like the offensive first team. But I think that adding guys like Dellavedova and some of the, like, what's the guy's name? Used to play with the Heat. Jones?
Mm-hmm.
Like, those guys can come in and give you some good bench minutes and kind of get the motivation going and be like, hey, we're playing like this, and then the offensive players seem to roll with that, and they play like that. And then sometimes in the NBA, just having a super good offense is like having a good defense.
It is in many ways.
It just kills the other team with how you're playing, and they just can't give that same effort back.
My biggest worry for them, because you're right, they have some spectacular rebounders.
Right.
Their help defense has always been good. So I think that they have such a good offense and then a good enough defense to get to the finals, right?
I don't see any team competing with them in the East.
At all. You don't think there's even a chance of another team going to the finals from the East?
I just don't see it. I mean, the Hawks might make it to the conference finals, but it's going to be the same story. And I'm not seeing, at this moment in the season, I'm not seeing that East team show itself.
Okay.
Like, I know that some teams are making some good... I mean, the East is looking better than it has.
It is. I've been
before, but
thrilled with the East so far.
But it still kind of doesn't look the Cavalier level. Because I just don't see it yet. And it's early season. It's 10 games.
I look at the playoffs in terms of matchups, though. And Chicago, even though historically they haven't beaten LeBron's team, they match up.
Won this?
They've won already against Cleveland, but they match up well with Cleveland.
Right.
The Heat, we have yet to see them hit their stride, but they have huge talent, and they have guys that can just dominate offensively.
Oh yeah.
So those two teams specifically, I can see matching up well in a 7-game series with Cleveland. I don't think they have the offensive firepower, but both of those teams have the potential to be much better defensively than Cleveland is. And in the playoffs, I think that makes a bigger difference. Now, I still say that the Cavaliers are the favorites in the East. But again, like Golden State, I wouldn't call them a shoo-in. I would not say, oh, no one else has a chance. Cleveland's going to make it no matter what. Because I could totally see one of those two teams I named beating them in a 7-game series.
I could kind of see that. I just see it harder because they have to get to the Cavs in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. And they might meet one of those random teams that they just struggle against, and it's like, wait, why is the Heat out again? Oh yeah, because they lost the last game of the year. It's like, what? So, I mean, yeah,
it will be huge.
It's just hard for me to go against LeBron in 7 games. Like, yeah, the Bulls did beat them this year by a last-second shot. Congratulations.
And a last-second block.
I just don't see that happening 7 games in a row.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, we'll see.
So I have to say they're a shoo-in, but on the Western side, it is harder to say that the Warriors are the shoo-in, even though they're killing the top teams right now. They're just
destructive, man. And here's the other thing. I know you're a LeBron fan,
whoa.
But do you really think that the Cavaliers are as good as the top 3 to even 5 teams in the West? I mean, do you really think that? Or as a fan, do you just hope that they could be? Because to me, what I've watched so far, especially from Golden State, obviously, but the Spurs, who historically have been really good against LeBron teams, the Clippers look significantly better than Cleveland to me, just to my eye. Those 3 teams mostly, but I think Oklahoma. I still think that the Rockets are going to catch right back up in the West. Mm-hmm. James Harden seems to have found his shot. I think it's safe to say after the week he's had. But I think that there are teams in the West that are quite a bit better than the Cavaliers. And in a 7-game series, I don't see the Cavs beating any of those teams. I really don't. Not that they can't.
Right.
But as a favorites kind of thing, like who would I bet on if I were to bet money? I would never bet on the Cavaliers against any of those teams that are probably going to come out of the West. Now, if randomly Portland came out of, if some freakish thing happened and there were injuries all over,
Jazz?
then I'd go with the Cavs. But if I were to rank the best teams in the league, regardless of conference, I'd put the Cavs as 5th, maybe.
Are you saying like end of the year 5th?
By the end of the year.
Because right now they're looking.
Oh no! By how they've played, they've been playing great.
It's like, if you've been watching any basketball.
No. I'm talking about the talent on the roster, matchups.
End of the year 5th best team in the league. It's probably pretty reasonable, but I could see them in the finals winning those series 50% of the time compared to what you're probably giving right now.
Because of LeBron
just
faith?
Because of the experience. And that guy, he has some serious leadership qualities. He elevates his team wherever he goes. The Cavs were last place before I'll just go there for the summer. And then they took it to the finals.
They did, but they had a full year of Love and Irving with that as well. It wasn't like LeBron
But they never made it.
No, not in the playoffs.
No.
But they got that huge jump in record because of all of their players.
Well, right. But, like, that guy elevates. Like, he went to the Heat, and they went to 4 straight finals. Or 3 straight finals. 4 straight. He won 2 and lost 2.
Yeah,
4 straight. And now he's back at the Cavs, and they've gone to another straight finals. That guy likes the playoffs.
Yeah, no, he is a guy built for the playoffs, definitely.
So that's why I think that they have that 50-50 chance. Kind of like what they almost had with the Warriors. They had those 50-50 shots that didn't go in that would have won 4-0. They would have swept the Warriors if it went, but it didn't. And so the Warriors reversed it and went 6-2, which was expected, but it was that close.
It was competitive. It was competitive. Every game was competitive, but the Cavaliers' wins were extremely close as well. The Warriors could have taken it if you're gonna do that kind of scenario. So you're just saying that basketball is so much about, you can't just say this team's better so they're gonna win.
Right.
Every single game is a new game, and either team could win.
Yeah.
And so
I'm just giving LeBron an edge over a guy like at the moment Harden. I just think that Harden doesn't have that momentum for his team that LeBron, like if you switch LeBron for Harden, the Rockets would go farther, I think.
Oh, see, I don't know about that. Maybe. I'm not saying that can't be, because he is a more talented all-around player, but he is not the scorer that Harden is.
But like Harden would do well on the Cavs. I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm just saying LeBron at this moment in his career, he just has that aura of just leadership.
Yeah.
Blatt, I don't think he's the best coach. Neither did I think Spoelstra was the best coach. But they look like the best coach just because you have one of the best leaders on the court.
Yeah. No, he definitely has that persona with the other players respect him and follow his lead. But
he elevated what was who was the guy that got fired at the Lakers that used to be the Cavs coach?
Oh,
Mike Brown or something?
Mike Brown.
Yeah, it just showed how awful he was.
Yeah.
He's spent LeBron's prime with him, and then he went to the Lakers and just tanked him.
Mm-hmm.
Same system. Had Kobe.
Yep.
Well, kind of. Got hurt.
Yeah.
But
at the time he got there, he had good players.
Right. And it just... He was just awful. And you're like, wait... Was that really a good coach? Because he got Coach of the Year.
Yeah,
he wasn't the Coach of the Year ever.
These awards,
never.
Man. We've talked about that too much, but
like that's why I think
Popovich
being the
he should be the Coach of the Year every single year.
Isn't he the Olympics coach?
Yeah.
I think that is going to be amazing.
Yep.
Wasn't he already like the assistant coach?
He was a while ago. He had a feud going on, and he kind of got over the feud. And
who doesn't he have a feud with?
Well, he's beat everybody so many times that they all hate him. The only people he doesn't have a feud with are the ones who have played their whole career for him.
Duncan,
Parker, and Ginobili. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I like those guys. They got me rings.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't ask me interview questions.
Yeah, no kidding. But, yeah, I think, I don't know, man. The Warriors look so good. Curry looks just unbelievably good. He looks like if he strings together a whole season like he's doing right now, in my opinion, that's the greatest season of basketball that's ever been played. Mm-hmm. And I realize that Michael Jordan is gonna find this random video with 7 views and jump down my throat because that's what he does. But if Curry were to play like he's playing right now for an entire season, that is the best season of basketball ever played from an individual standpoint.
At this moment, he's on that record.
Yeah. Or among them, at least.
It's like a Westbrook month. It's like triple doubles for a whole month, and what are you going to do next?
Yep.
But I think the reason why Curry's doing so well is because he got smarter. I don't think he's added any new skills. I just think he's playing so much smarter. He's using his teammates. He's using screens. He's taking smarter shots, except for that weird one he threw from half court because of a foul. But he's... like, you just, like, see him on the court, and you're like, he is thinking ahead more than he has ever before. He's not just running full sprint. He's like, working less, but smarter, you know?
And what's been crazy, I've watched a lot of Golden State this season. He seems like he suddenly realized how good he is. Mm-hmm. He was like, I don't have to wait for a screen to come to shoot a 3. I don't have to wait for anything. If I'm double teamed, I can still shoot. I am that good, and it makes a difference on the court. I like what you said, where he's working less hard, it seems like. At least on offense. Not on defense necessarily, but on offense. He's not working as hard, it doesn't seem. But he is torching everybody. And the coaches of the league have to adjust. Because they can't live with Curry shooting this well and shooting this much.
Like I said last week, hire me, guys.
What would you do?
You have 3 people on the guy, and you make the other you make the other players beat you.
But you're talking about guys like Klay Thompson.
This will put one guy on him and one guy in the West. You never heard of a 3-1 zone?
Oh man,
3-1-1 box.
We should next week take our little camera here and go to a gym, get a couple guys, and see how well that works. Having one guy guard 3 guys.
You should hire me, guys. It would work.
All right.
What they're using now isn't working.
No,
so
not
hey,
at all.
What?
Might as well try something crazy because this isn't working.
Who do they play next? Like, is it anyone like important?
Why don't you
see here.
pull it up?
Who is going to give them the next challenge? That's what I want to know.
Not
Brooke.
Brooke.
Another Clippers game. That is going to be a bloodbath.
Yeah, that's going to be nasty. Chicago might play them well.
Chicago might win because they might play so hard that they rip someone's shoulder out of their side.
Wasn't that Boston who did that?
I don't care. It's one of those crappy teams that just plays hard and doesn't have any basketball smarts.
What? I can't see Brooklyn. Honestly, I can't see Toronto.
You don't think that's their personality? Just hit people? The Bulls or the Celtics?
Have you watched Jimmy Butler play?
I'm not saying Butler. I'm just saying, like...
As a whole, they play rough, aggressive...
Looking at you, Noah. And Olin or whatever.
And to a point with guys like Noah, as his athleticism wanes, he needs to use...
more.
Up to the very edge of what might be a foul. They have to use constantly. And then they'll get called for some fouls, but they have to do that. Those kinds of players that were never deadly shooters or anything like that. They won because they had a large amount of talent in lots of different areas.
Right.
And then they played so hard that they could out hustle guys. That's how guys like Noah thrive in the league. And as his athleticism goes down, his role on the team, first of all, is going down, as we've seen. Yeah, but he's going to have to get further and further into the I'm willing to rough up some guys kind of mentality. I look at David West in San Antonio now. He's still a great player, but he used to be a dominant player, and he's not. But if he's coming off the bench against other teams' bench players and just roughing them up, the other teams' benches don't have guys like that necessarily. And so that's a good thing for San Antonio because most of their best players are old. And they don't have the athleticism to dominate that, with the huge exception of Kawhi Leonard. but you know what I mean?
He's been doing really good.
Oh, he's been awesome. He's been awesome. He looks like a top 10 player in the league. And if as I've talked about lots, if defense were as important as offense in the minds of people, then he'd be a top 3 player in the league.
Behind LeBron and Curry.
Oh my gosh, come on. Have you seen LeBron play this season?
Oh yeah.
I know you have.
I forgot that they're the number 1 teams in their conferences. My bad.
No. Behind Curry, yes. But we won't go there. Anyway, that's what we've got for you today, YouTube.
Well, thanks for listening in. We'll be back next week to talk more about basketball. So, signing out, I'm Dude LeBron.
Dude Kobe.
This is BothEndsOfTheCourt.com. Peace.